Hi guys, so this is going to be another story time video. This isn't a part of Suicide Diaries, but it goes along with it, a little bit of it. This is going to be my trip to the psychiatric unit. Oh, my experience. Okay, so when I talked a little bit about it in my other story time, the time I overdosed. So when I got rushed, after being rushed to the hospital, when I got there, they gave me charcoal, so I had to drink charcoal, a bunch of it too. It was so disgusting, literally like charcoal, train charcoal. So I had to drink that, and I guess that was supposed to get any of the chemicals out of my body from all the pills that I took. After drinking that charcoal, I went to sleep, but like the next day when I woke up, I was taken to a psychiatric unit. So a psychiatric unit is a place where crazy people go, let's put it that way. So if you have like mental issues, like I don't know how to explain it, but if you guys should know what a psychiatric unit is. I was in there, I had my own room, but I wasn't allowed to wear clothes. I had to wear scrubs like dentists or doctors. So I had on scrubs, and I wasn't allowed to wear shoes either, because they kind of took away everything, because they took away everything in case we tried to harm ourselves with it. So I wasn't allowed to wear shoes. I didn't have my purse, keys, phone, none of that. I wasn't allowed to have anything. I just had on scrubs and socks. In the unit, it was like a long hallway, and there were rooms. It looked kind of like a jailhouse, but it wasn't a jailhouse. And in the room, there was nothing in the room. It was like walls, all wall, and a bed, and that was it. There were no wires, cords, nothing. My room had a window in it, which I thought was really stupid. If you're gonna take away my shoes, you should not put me in a room where there's a window. I might jump out of it. Being in there, I was already irritated because there was nothing. It was just an empty room, and I hate to be bored. I didn't really talk half the time I was, well, I didn't talk at all, actually. I may have spoken a few times when somebody said something to me, but I didn't really talk to anybody there. They all were crazy. While I was there, they had a lot of weird things going on. Like, we had to walk around a garden and get nature therapy. Then we sat in little rooms and like listen to somebody play a guitar. It was called musical therapy. And we also had other things going on. It was just weird. There was a therapy for everything. It was so weird. And excuse this bed in the background. That is not my bed, and it is not made. That's not my bed. So ignore that. That's not. This is my sister's room. There was a therapy for almost everything. Anytime they would make us eat, I would kind of refuse to eat, because the whole time I was there, they were trying to make me take depression pills, and I don't like taking those pills. I only took them because I wanted to die. They were trying to make me take those pills, so I kind of refused to eat because I was afraid that they were going to put it inside of my food, because I would not take them when they tried to give them to me. So I was being really difficult. I mean, I gave the doctors and nurses a really hard time all the time. But that's only because I don't like people bossing me around. I didn't want to do anything they told me to do. I thought they were all crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not depressed and I'm not psycho, so get me the hell out of here. It's pretty much what I was thinking the whole time. And then I had a caseworker come in and talk to me at one point about my mom. They really wanted to get a case on my mom and get her arrested for some stuff. I didn't want to talk to them either, so that conversation was cut short. And I also sat there for like 7 to 10 days without any visitors at all. Only one person came to visit me, and that was my sister, Tashiana. She came to visit me, and she gave me a little pep talk, which really changed my whole mindset about a few things from what she told me. My sister, Nikema, and my cousin Shai came to pick me up on the last day I was there. I actually should have still been in there for like another couple months, but I wanted to get out of there so bad. I had to play like I was happy, and it was so horrible. One day though, there was a girl, a crazy psycho ballistic girl. I don't know why she was in there. They didn't really tell us why other people were in there. It was our option to ask and tell people if we wanted to. I don't know why that girl was in there, but she needed to be in there. And one day she just said, I'm gonna kill myself because of you fuckers. I want to get the fuck out of here. Like, she was getting pissed off like everybody else in there because nobody wanted to be in there. But she was so heated, and they put her in her room. They locked her in there so she couldn't get out, and she started banging on all the freaking walls in her room. Then she like kicked, I don't know what is wrong with this bitch, if she's the Hawk or what, but she kicked the door down. Like, you know, the hospital doors are big and strong. This bitch kicked the door down and started running out of the room, and we all had to go in our rooms. There was like it was a bunch of rooms, but then there was like a lobby out there, and with a table, a couch, some books, color pencils, paper, things like that, and then one computer and a phone. So we all had to leave from that area and go into the rooms. And I was like, okay, I'm never coming out of this room again. So I was just in my room, and I stayed in there, but at one point I had to come out because we were going into a different room for some game therapy. There was another guy who decided, I don't know what happened to that girl, by the way. I didn't see her again after that day. She probably got admitted to some extra crazy place. But there was a guy, he was doing perfectly fine. I mean, we were all just sitting there waiting for the little lady to come get us and take us where we were going. He was sitting there and he had his feet on the table, like laid back, had the magazine in his hand. And then one of the workers comes by and says, "Sir, you need to take your feet off the table, please." And he looked at her, and like within 2.5 seconds, he picked the table up, flipped it, started screaming and yelling. Then he like tore the TV down. There was a flat screen TV on the wall, and he like tore it down and started screaming and saying how he was gonna murder everybody in there. And then I'm just sitting there like, it's not that serious. All you had to do was move your feet. I don't know why the hell these people were so crazy and so like patientless. I don't know what to call them, but they were crazy. So that guy was taken out by some dudes with armor and stuff. They kind of look like a SWAT team, but they weren't. They came to take him away, and then we went out to the garden. And so I'm just sitting there, and I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't give a fuck. I wasn't talking to anybody. And they were all crazy. So if somebody flipped out on me like that, I would be beating ass. Old people's ass, young people's ass. I don't give a goddamn. I was sitting, we were sitting in the garden, and I was just kind of sitting there, ignoring everybody. And the lady comes to me and she's like, "Why don't you ever talk?" And I'm like, "There's nothing, I don't want to talk. I don't." And then she's like, "Well, there are color pencils and books, and if you want, you can get up and walk around." And I'm like, "Bitch, I know what I can and can't do. I don't want to." That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I'm just looking at her. And then she's like, "Is there something going on at home?" And I'm looking at her like, "Bitch, duh. Why the fuck do you think I'm here? Like, what the hell? I'm not in that psych unit." I was the youngest one in there, and that's because I had just turned 18. Everybody else in there were like 25 to 56, and they were all crazy. And of course me, I have no friends because they were all old people, and I wasn't about to befriend old people. My mind has changed now. I have a lot of older friends, and that's because of work and all that stuff. But anyway, this psych unit was crazy as fuck. I don't ever want to be there ever again in my entire life. Also, I wouldn't recommend doing anything to get yourself in a psychiatric unit. I had to smile. I had to pretend like I was happy just so I can go home. They would not let me go home under any circumstances. Like, "No, you can't go home. Any patient that's admitted into here is normally here for 6 months. We can't let you go home unless we have proof that you're ready and that you won't try to commit suicide again or harm anybody else," and this and that. I'm like, fuck, shit. No, I won't do it. Let me out of here. Like, that's what I'm just thinking in my head, because I really did not want to be there. But anyway, that was my story on being in the psychiatric unit. I have a few other important things that I have to get through today, so I probably won't film anything else today besides vlogging, because I have a really important business meeting and it's a 3-day event, and I have some other shit going on in my clothing line. So I'll be back later to film another video or story time, whatever, for you guys in a few days or so. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you're not subscribed to this channel yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I wouldn't recommend, if you don't like Nicki Minaj too much, because I talk about her a lot and I talk about Barbs a lot. So I wouldn't recommend subscribing if you don't like her. But if you like me, go ahead and subscribe. It's not always about Nikki. But just saying. Anyways, love you guys to the moon and back. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, whichever one it is when you watch this video. Bye, guys.